In a future where planets unite yet fear each other, a lone human girl steps into an alien classroom. Witness epic interstellar conflicts, unveil Earth's true dangers, and discover how courage shatters prejudice. Are you ready to challenge your beliefs, confront the unknown, and see unity born from adversity? Stay and experience a tale where alliance triumphs over isolation in the most unexpected ways. If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. In a future where planets unite yet fear each other, a lone human girl steps into an alien classroom. Witness epic interstellar conflicts, unveil Earth's true dangers, and discover how courage shatters prejudice. Are you ready to challenge your beliefs, confront the unknown, and see unity born from adversity? Stay and experience a tale where alliance triumphs over isolation in the most unexpected ways. ******* In the boundless expanse of the universe, where planets are mere dots connected by the tenuous strands of diplomacy, there exists an academy renowned only to the galaxies, the nexus of cultures. It is a place where young minds from countless star systems gather to learn, grow, and understand each other under the watchful eyes of the enigmatic instructor Sable. This interstellar sanctuary had always been a hub of tranquility and scholarly pursuit until that fateful morning when a human girl named Julie arrived. Julie, with her shoulder-length auburn hair and forest green eyes, carried with her the weight of an entire planet's dark reputation. She stepped into the Nexus with a mixture of apprehension and determination, her slight frame contrasting sharply with the imposing figures of her alien classmates. The whispers started the moment she entered the classroom, the legend of Earth as the world of death, casting a long, dark shadow over her timid entrance. Her presence ignited a storm of suspicion among her peers. Instructor Sable, a being of profound wisdom and formidable presence, tall and slender with deep blue skin and eyes that glowed like twin suns, watched her arrival with a blend of curiosity and concern. Sable's primary goal was to foster understanding and unity among the students, but he knew Julie's presence would test the very fabric of that goal. The Nexus was a melting pot of diverse cultures and species, each with its intricacies and prejudices. Julie's task was monumental: to bridge the chasm of fear and ignorance that separated her from the others. Julie's initial days were a labyrinth of trials. Her human nature, viewed with a fluctuating blend of curiosity, fear, and trepidation, isolated her. The hallways of the Nexus echoed with whispered conversations, the undercurrent of which she could almost hear. The human, from Earth. The classroom, once a sanctuary of learning, became a gauntlet she had to navigate daily. Each glance, each murmur, each hesitant interaction was a reminder of the legends that surrounded her home planet, the planet known for its perilous landscapes and ferocious creatures. One particular classmate, Valora, a tall and slender insectoid from the planet Savoria, exemplified the blend of curiosity and caution that defined Julie's interaction with her peers. With iridescent wings that shimmered in the dim classroom light and multifaceted eyes that seemed to pierce through Julie's very soul, Valora, in her reserved and calculating manner, observed from a distance. Her appearance, with her segmented exoskeleton that gleamed in hues of emerald and gold, stood in stark contrast to Julie's soft, organic form. Valora's curiosity about human creatures and Earth's enigmatic reputation was palpable, though she maintained a respectful distance, assessing Julie as one would a potentially dangerous yet intriguing specimen. Instructor Sable, sensing the growing chasm between Julie and the rest of the students, pondered a solution. His mind was a wellspring of ancient wisdom and strategic foresight. He decided on a bold plan to break through the barriers of fear and misunderstanding, a project where each student would showcase the perils of their home planet. Sable wasn't aiming solely for an academic exercise, his vision was deeper. He believed that by exposing each student's vulnerability, he could foster a sense of empathy and shared humanity, or in this case, shared sentient experience, across their diverse group. The announcement of the project created a buzz among the students, a ripple of excitement mingled with apprehension. Julie felt the eyes of her classmates on her, their curiosity tinged with the fear of the unknown. For them, Earth's dangers were legendary, their minds conjuring images of monstrous creatures and deadly landscapes. But for Julie, this was a chance to shift the narrative, to show them that fear and respect could coexist. As the project began, each student took turns presenting the so-called dangers of their home planets. It was a spectacle of contrasts. From Venar's fluffy felines, which more often induced coos of delight than shrieks of terror, to Luthar's squawky parakeetos, whose only threat seemed to be their ear-piercing screeches, the presentations oscillated between the laughable and the mildly unsettling. Yet Julie knew her presentation would be different. She could feel the weight of expectations and skepticism pressing down on her as her turn approached. She was ready to reveal the raw and unfiltered truths of Earth, a place where survival often depended on a delicate balance between hunter and hunted. As she stood before the class, the room grew silent, a palpable tension hanging in the air. Her voice, though steady, carried the underlying tremor of her burden as she began. She spoke of Earth's apex predators first, wolverines with their razor-sharp claws that could rip through flesh with terrifying ease, creatures that commanded both awe and fear in their ferocity. The classroom, which had been filled with laughter moments before, now held an uneasy silence. Julie's descriptions were vivid, painting images in the minds of her listeners that were both mesmerizing and horrifying. Next, she delved into the depths of Earth's oceans, where sharks ruled as sovereigns of fear. She described the great white shark, a creature designed for predation, its rows of serrated teeth and powerful jaws capable of delivering a fatal blow to its prey. The video clips she played only served to amplify the tension, showing these majestic yet terrifying predators in action. The students watched, their eyes wide with a mix of fascination and terror. Julie's final subject was the vampire bat, the stealthy hunter of the night. She spoke of its silent wings and minute, razor-sharp teeth that could draw blood with a single nip. The thought of a creature that thrived in darkness, unseen and unheard, sent shivers down the spines of those present. They began to understand that Earth's dangers were not just physical but psychological, rooted in the primal fear of the unknown. But Julie saved her most impactful revelation for last. With a steady gaze that swept across her classmates, she declared humans as Earth's true apex predators. She spoke of their ingenuity and their dual capacity for creation and devastation. She described humanity's advancements and the terrifying potential for destruction that came with them, a species that could tame nature but also annihilate it. The weight of her words hung heavy in the air, leaving her classmates in a stunned silence. As Julie finished, the classroom was enveloped in a profound stillness. The expressions on her classmates' faces had shifted from amusement to genuine terror, and from terror to a newfound respect. They saw in Julie's eyes a reflection of their deepest fears and a glimpse of their own vulnerabilities. Julie's days at the Nexus are challenging. Her human nature, viewed with a blend of curiosity and trepidation, isolates her. Whispers linger in the air as she walks by. The mythos of Terra's dangerous landscapes and fearsome creatures haunts her every step. Instructor Sable, perceiving the chasm forming between Julie and her classmates, devises a bold plan. A project where each student must showcase the perils of their home planet. His hope isn't merely academic. He envisions bridging the void of misunderstanding that segregates them. The nexus of cultures, this grand academy floating in the vast expanse of space, is an architectural marvel. It gleams with iridescent hues from millions of nanolights embedded within the structure. Hallways mimic the starry sky, with constellations shimmering underfoot. Each classroom, modeled after various planetary designs, creates an immersive environment for students far from home. But despite the physical splendor, Julie feels a persistent coldness. Whispers from students echo against the walls, words dissolving into a buzz of trepidation whenever she approaches. The mythos of Terra is a heavy cloak, weighing Julia down with each step. Her movements are calculated, her gaze often downcast to avoid eye contact. Every corner turned brings hushed conversations to a halt, and her presence seems to draw a shadow over the lively atmosphere. The mythos of Earth, a world brimming with untamed wilderness and feral creatures, is etched deeply into the minds of her extraterrestrial peers, painting her as an enigma, an anomaly in their midst. Instructor Sable, an enigmatic figure with a profound sense of duty to every student, watches this divide with growing concern. His form, a blend of serpentine grace and avian elegance, is a testament to countless hybridizations in the quest for intergalactic peace. His silver-blue scales shimmer under the classroom lights, while his wings, though usually folded, fan out occasionally, a gesture of contemplation. His eyes, multifaceted and gleaming with intelligence, scan the classroom, studying the growing chasm between students and Julie. Understanding that academic exercises alone won't suffice to dismantle the barriers, Sable hatches a daring plan. He decides on an experiential project, one that requires each student to showcase the perils associated with their home planets. This task isn't merely designed to impart knowledge but to foster empathy through shared vulnerability, urging students to confront their biases and embrace the richness of diversity. Throughout the academy, posters of undiscovered creatures and landscapes of mysterious planets start to adorn the walls, sparking intrigue and excitement among the students. The nightly holographic announcements now brim with enthusiasm regarding the upcoming presentations, each species eager to display the grandeur and hazards of their worlds. Julie spends her nights in the Academy's observatory, preparing for her exposition. The observatory, with its transparent dome providing an unobstructed view of the cosmic ballet outside, becomes her sanctuary. Holographic screens project scenes from Earth's wilds, and she meticulously compiles data, videos, and images. The biomes of Earth, from its lush rainforests to its arid deserts, vibrate with life and danger, offering a rich tapestry to draw from. Yet, the duality of her mission sinks in. She must convey the beauty of Earth alongside its perils, a formidable challenge. While Julie remains engrossed in her task, the students around her dig into their home planet's archives. Tarek, a reptilian from Vanar, curates a compilation of its thriving flora and fauna. His world, characterized by verdant jungles, isn't typically viewed as perilous. The felines of Vanar, with their plush fur and gentle eyes, seem more endearing than dangerous. Yet, Tarek emphasizes their territorial instincts, showcasing the subtle but ever-present threats. Similarly, Priya, a vibrant avian from Luthar with her iridescent plumage, prepares to highlight the shrill screams of her planet's parakeetos. These creatures, although seemingly benign, play a significant role in the ecosystem, their calls alerting inhabitants to approaching storms. She aims to illustrate how even the most innocuous beings possess inherent dangers. With the students engrossed in their projects, Sable observes a subtle shift. Conversations become more inclusive, but the undercurrent of wariness toward Julie persists. Her isolation becomes a crucible in which she channels her determination, refining her presentation to poignant perfection. As the day of the presentations approaches, the atmosphere within the Nexus brims with anticipation. Students, donned in the traditional attire of their home worlds, gather in the grand amphitheater. The amphitheater, a masterpiece of alien architecture, can accommodate thousands, with tiers designed to cater to various species' anatomical needs. Holographic screens provide close-up views of the stage, ensuring every nuance is captured. Julie, wearing an Earth-inspired ensemble that combines practicality with elegance, steps onto the stage. Her pulse quickens, but a resolute calm washes over her as she begins. Her voice, amplified by the hall's sophisticated acoustic system, reaches each corner of the amphitheater, captivating the audience. Her presentation commences with a montage of Earth's breathtaking landscapes interwoven with its inherent dangers. Lush forests morph into treacherous wildernesses, serene oceans harbor ruthless predators, and bustling cities belie the lurking chaos of humanity's dual nature. As Julie unveils Earth's predatory hierarchy, she juxtaposes raw beauty with imminent peril, painting a picture of a world teetering on the edge of magnificence and destruction. One particularly gripping segment depicts a great white shark leaping from the ocean's depths, its jaws wide open, targeting an unsuspecting seal. The video captures the primal savagery of nature, leaving the amphitheater in stunned silence. The holographic display magnifies every detail, from the shark's razor-sharp teeth to the seal's frantic escape, drawing visceral reactions from the audience. Finally, Julie addresses humanity itself, the apex predator of Earth. Her portrayal isn't monolithic. She delves into the complexity of human nature, highlighting both ingenious creations and devastating actions. The juxtaposition of technological marvels with war-torn landscapes creates a stark contrast, underscoring the duality of human potential for creation and destruction. Her words reverberate through the amphitheater, casting a solemn pall over the audience, who grapple with newfound respect and fear. As Julie concludes her presentation, she looks out into the collective gaze of her classmates. Their wide-eyed shock is palpable, and she can almost see the cogwheels of their minds turning, reshaping preconceptions. Instructor Sable steps forward, his wings partially unfurled in a rare moment of emotion. He perceives the poignancy in the air, an unspoken acknowledgement of the courage it took for Julie to share her world's truth. The days following Julie's presentation witness a profound transformation. Her peers, initially hesitant, now approach her with cautious curiosity. Conversations shift from confronting fears to seeking understanding, as students inquire about Earth's myriad wonders and dangers. The artificial brightness of the classroom dimmed as Instructor Sable called for quiet. A holographic globe of the Nexus system hovered in the center, casting an iridescent glow that accentuated the anticipation in the room. Julie sat on the edge of her chair, her fingers clutching a digital tablet loaded with her meticulously curated content. The moment she had dreaded yet prepared for with unwavering determination had arrived. The murmur of excitement and intrigue rippled through the class like a low hum, but Julie's eyes were fixed on the hologram, her mind replaying the steps of her presentation. The first student to present was Chava from Vinar, whose milky blue skin shimmered under the classroom's ambient light. Chava strode confidently to the center of the room, lifting a small, jewel-encrusted box. As she opened it, a holographic projection of Vinar's wildlife burst forth. At its heart was the fearsome Katipi, a creature resembling a large, fluffy feline. It pranced playfully before the class, its large eyes and soft purring sounds eliciting laughter and coos of affection rather than fear. Chava described its menacing purr, said to hypnotize its prey, a claim that brought smiles rather than taken seriously. Next was Almar from Luthar. Almar's parents, avian ambassadors, had often regaled him with tales of the parakeetos, small parrot-like beings known for their vibrant plumage and vocal mimicry. Almar's projection showed a flock chirping melodiously, their bright feathers creating a kaleidoscope of colors as they flitted about. He spoke of their loud and chaotic nature, attempting to frame their incessant chattering as a form of psychological warfare. The classroom again filled with laughter, the parakeeto's tunes more charming than intimidating. Julie observed her peers, noting how different their interpretations of danger were compared to what she'd grown up with on Earth. She knew her turn would starkly contrast these almost whimsical depictions of peril. Gathering her resolve, she rose when Instructor Sable called her name. An empathetic nod from the instructor provided a fleeting moment of comfort before Julie found herself facing her audience. The air felt heavier, the ambient hum of the classroom dying down to a breath-held silence. As Julie activated her presentation, the holographic sphere shifted, now displaying the first image, a wolverine. Here began a descent into Earth's unfiltered dangers. The wolverine, a robust creature with muscular limbs and a tendency for ferocity, was the opening act. Its sharp claws and unyielding survival instinct were highlighted in a series of raw, vivid photos and clips. The class's initial shock was palpable, a sharp intake of breath collectively shared. Whispers of uncertainty rustled like dry leaves. Transitioning to the next slide, Julie introduced the great white shark. The shift in the room's atmosphere was immediate and stark. The hologram displayed the powerful predator slicing through the ocean with lethal grace. A close-up shot emerged, showcasing rows of serrated teeth glistening under the watery sun. Julie walked them through the shark's predatory behavior, emphasizing its methodical hunting techniques and speed. Faces that moments ago were smiling now bore looks of wide-eyed astonishment and trepidation. The laughter had been replaced with a respectful silence tinged with fear. Building on momentum, Julie presented the vampire bat, using footage enhanced by advanced xenographic filters to intensify its nocturnal allure. As the bat's wings unfurled, casting a shadow over the classroom, it became an emblem of the night's eerie embrace. Its silent swoop and the subtle slice as it drew blood were shown in unsettlingly lifelike detail. Audible gasps dotted the room, the alien students' imaginations turning over the possibilities of encountering such creatures. But Julie saved the most profound revelation for last. She concluded with humanity itself, asserting the apex predator status with a gravity that hushed any remaining whispers. The final segment of her presentation illustrated humanity's duality, its capacity for creation juxtaposed with its potential for untold destruction. She showcased advancements in technology, from the marvels of medicine to mechanized warfare. Clips from Earth's history played, revealing acts of both benevolence and devastation. The images shifted from soaring skyscrapers and internet networks to the haunting aftermath of wars and environmental crises. This unfiltered portrayal reflected Earth's contradictions, painting a more complex picture than that of any singular beast or natural terror. Julie's last declaration, that humans were the most fearsome beings on Earth, settled heavily in the room. Her peers wore a mix of awe and apprehension, their gazes locking onto her as though realizing the true depth of the myths they'd heard about humanity. The silence that followed was immersive, as though the classroom itself breathed in unison, absorbing the weight of Julie's words. Julie returned to her seat, her heart pounding as the enormity of what she'd shared sank in. The class didn't erupt into the casual chatter that typically followed presentations. Instead, they sat, processing the stark contrast between the colorful, comical creatures from earlier and the raw, untamed ferocity of Earth's dangers. Instructor Sable allowed the gravity of the moment to linger, his eyes studying each student's reaction. Valora, a new transfer from the insectoid planet Savoria, broke the silence. Standing tall on spindly legs, her exoskeleton catching the light in iridescent hues, she projected a sense of genuine curiosity rather than fear. Her multifaceted eyes reflected the curiosity within her. Valora's luminescent antennae twitched thoughtfully as she began dissecting the presentation with an analytical mind. Valora's inquiries were insightful, probing the underlying causes of Earth's dangerous ecology and the coexistence of such deadly creatures with human civilization. Her perspective brought a refreshing angle, shifting the dialogue from mere survival to coexistence with an understanding of Earth's diverse biosphere. Her appreciation of the balance within Earth's ecosystems transcended mere curiosity, it bordered on fascination. She made comparisons to how her hive society managed similar coexistential conundrums with the biological threats on Savoria. Valora's questions opened a floodgate. One by one, Julie's classmates began participating with a blend of hesitation and eagerness, their voices mingling in a symphony of questions that ranged from the ecological to the ethical. They peeled back layers, not just asking about Earth's dangers but pondering on the responsibility humans bore as stewards of their world. The conversation flowed from the superficial to the profound, each student wrestling with the moral dichotomies Julie had laid bare. Rathal, a humanoid with emerald skin and an affinity for botanical life, posed a question that reverberated through the room. He asked Julie about the ethical implications of being at the top of the food chain, how humans balanced creation with the inherent destructiveness she had highlighted. His query struck a chord, leading others to explore their own species' ethical boundaries, drawing parallel lines between their worlds and Earth's complex narrative. The screen flickers to life, displaying footage from Earth's most untouched wilds. A dense rainforest unfurls on the display, where predators and prey engage in an unending cycle of survival. The tension in the room mounts as Julie begins to elaborate, her voice steady and unwavering. "Here is the Amazon rainforest," she begins, her tone somber. "It's one of the most biodiverse places on Earth. But with this biodiversity comes danger." The camera zooms in on a jaguar, its golden eyes piercing through the foliage as it stalks an unsuspecting capybara. There's a collective breath hold among her peers as the predator pounces. The violent beauty of nature's ruthlessness is laid bare. Yet, Julie is just scratching the surface. She transitions to another scene, this time under the murky waters of the Nile River. "Consider the Nile crocodile," she comments as the reptilian predator lurks beneath the water, its scales camouflaged almost perfectly with the surrounding aquatic vegetation. Suddenly, it bursts forth, capturing an unwary antelope that ventured too close to the water's edge. Gasps of horror and fascination ripple through the room. She doesn't stop there. Her narrative takes the audience to the open savannas, where African lions hunt in coordinated groups, displaying a level of social intelligence that defies the cold-blooded label so often attributed to predators. These lions work as a team, outthinking their prey at every turn. Julie narrates, her voice tinged with an almost respectful acknowledgement of the animal's prowess. A scene transitions to a calm beach at dusk, but the tranquility is deceptive. "The great white shark," she announces, drawing the eyes of her audience closer. The ocean surface breaks as a massive shark erupts from the deep, its jaws clamping around a foca. The vivid footage, alongside Julie's methodical explanation of predation strategies, leaves an indelible impression. The climax of her presentation is perhaps the most introspective. As she speaks, the footage veers away from animals, focusing on human civilization. "But the apex predator of Earth," she says, and there is a noticeable silence as she pauses, letting the weight of her words sink in, "is humanity." Her classmates stare, captivated and horrified. The screen displays scenes of technological achievements juxtaposed with acts of environmental destruction and war. Humans, capable of building towering skyscrapers and creating art that touches the soul, are also shown as the source of ecological disasters and conflicts that ravage entire regions. This duality, this capability for immense creation and equally immense devastation, is what makes humans truly fearsome, Julie explains, her voice solemn yet earnest. The gravity of her words presses down on the audience, fostering an uncomfortable awareness. Her peers shift uneasily in their seats. Some avert their eyes, unable to reconcile the dichotomy presented so starkly. Julie doesn't flinch. She embraces the silence, aware that this is the profound impact Instructor Sable had intended beyond just the academic exercise. As the last frame fades out, Julie stands before a room bathed in muted awe. Her final words break the heavy silence. Understanding these aspects of Earth and humanity is crucial. Fear should not be the ultimate response, but rather a call to understand and coexist. For the next few moments, the room remains still, each student grappling with the monumental truth laid bare before them. The unsettling silence speaks volumes, louder than any discussion that might have followed. Eventually, murmurings begin. Students whisper among themselves, sharing their conflicted thoughts. A Serenian with iridescent scales raises its voice, breaking the growing tension. Julie, do you believe we can coexist with humanity, seeing all this? Julie looks intently at her classmate, her eyes reflecting a blend of earnest hope and pragmatic realism. I believe we must try. Fear comes from the unknown, so let's face it together and understand it. The room buzzes with a renewed energy, as if awakening from a long, contemplative slumber. It is clear that Julie's presentation has fundamentally shifted the classroom dynamic. Initial fear gives way to a burgeoning curiosity. Her classmates' eyes no longer hold suspicion but a keen interest mixed with respect. Their questions begin to flow, initially hesitant but gradually finding confidence. How do humans mitigate these dangers? Asks a Rigelian with bioluminescent spots that pulse rhythmically as it speaks. Julie smiles, sensing a turning point. We have systems in place, conservation efforts, technologies to track and manage these animals, and education that promotes coexistence. It's a constant battle, but one that many are committed to. The Rigelian nods thoughtfully, its spots dimming as it processes the information. Others join in, asking about specific predators, survival strategies, and human endeavors. The room transforms from a place of judgment to one of learning. Through this exchange, Julie perceives a shift within herself. The isolation that had once oppressed her begins to dissipate. She feels a growing sense of belonging, nurtured by the curiosity and respect of her classmates. Instructor Sable watches from the back, his expression unreadable but his eyes sparkling with a hint of approval. His plan, it seems, has taken root, offering the seeds of understanding and camaraderie. The discussions continue, branching out into comparisons with native creatures from other planets and shared stories of survival and adaptation. Julie's peers share their own world's dangers, revealing that fear and wonder are universal experiences. As the nexus of cultures buzzes with this newfound kinship, cosmic wonders swirl through the vast galaxy outside, hinting at endless opportunities for unity and discovery. Julie's journey has taken a pivotal turn, from isolation to a potential harbinger of unity among diverse civilizations. The chapter concludes abruptly as the classroom's intercom crackles to life, interrupting the animated conversations. A voice announces an urgent assembly called by the Academy's council. The students exchange puzzled glances and hurriedly prepare to leave. Julie's heart races, a mixture of anxiety and anticipation. As she joins the throng moving towards the assembly hall, she senses that this is just the beginning of a larger, more profound journey where the unknown beckons. The doors slide shut behind the last student, leaving the classroom in an almost eerie quiet. The screen flickers one last time, replaying a brief, chilling moment of the great white shark's lunge, a silent reminder of the shared fears and newfound connections binding these young minds from across the galaxy. The classroom at the nexus of cultures was encapsulated in an eerie silence in the moments following Julie's presentation. The shared astonishment of her peers lingered in the air, almost as tangible as the cosmic dust between the stars. Julie could feel their eyes on her, but this time, the looks were not of disdain or fear. They were filled with a newfound respect and curiosity. She had shattered their preconceived notions and opened a gateway to genuine intrigue, not just about Earth, but about Julie herself, the human who dared confront the taboo. Days passed, each one a testament to the slow yet fascinating metamorphosis of the classroom's atmosphere. No longer did Julie find herself shunned or the subject of derisive whispers. Instead, her classmates approached her with questions that ranged from the trivial to the profound. "Are wolverines common where you live?" asked Diner, whose scales shimmered under the classroom lights, reflecting hues of green and violet. Julie smiled. "Not really. They prefer the forests and cold regions." Aaliyah, the Lutherian with feathers that now seemed more curious than exotic, leaned forward. "And humans? You talked about being apex predators. How do they control their power?" Julie's expression sobered. "Through culture, laws, and, hopefully, wisdom. It's a delicate balance." The conversations were no longer one-sided. The more Julie shared, the more her peers reciprocated, each revealing the hidden dimensions of their worlds. They spoke not just of their wildlife but of their histories, their heartbreaks, and the masterpieces of their civilizations. They began to see themselves reflected in one another in ways that transcended species and home planets. The Nexus was living up to its promise, a true intergalactic academy of shared knowledge and mutual respect. Instructor Sable watched this transformation with unhidden pride. His grayish-blue orbs would soften as he'd observe the students' interactions, seeing his vision for the project come to fruition. The once estranged students now stood as a testament to the power of understanding and shared experience. To cement this newfound camaraderie, Sable organized an unprecedented field trip, a synchronous visit to a virtual reality simulation of various planets represented in the class. The advanced VR technology allowed sensory immersion so complete that each visit felt almost indistinguishable from reality. From the icy tundras of Adorix to the bioluminescent caves of Vinar, each student had the chance to guide their peers through the unique landscapes of their homes. When it was Julie's turn to introduce Earth, she opted for a tour that balanced its dangers with its wonders: the azure depths of coral reefs, the serene magnificence of redwood forests, and the bustling energy of human cities. It was during this virtual cross-galactic journey that the students began to internalize a profound lesson. Each world, much like each individual, held both danger and beauty. Aaliyah would later confide in Julie that she saw humans very differently now, more as complex, vibrant beings than as mere predators. When the classroom reconvened, the air was rife with an almost electric sense of anticipation. A collaborative project was devised where mixed groups would merge their unique skills and perspectives to solve complex challenges. Julie found herself in a group with Diner, Aaliyah, and Gel, a Venarian who had previously kept to himself but now opened up with enthusiasm. Their task was to create a model ecosystem that balanced the needs of its predators and prey, flora and fauna, technology and nature. At first, disagreements surfaced, clashes of ideologies and environmental priorities, but through patience and dialogue, solutions emerged. Julie marveled at how Aaliyah's understanding of harmony within Lutherian aviaries complemented Diner's intricate knowledge of balance within interdependent aquatic systems. Late nights were spent huddled around holographic displays and datapads, the initial friction between them gradually smoothing into a seamless blend of ideas. By the time they presented their project, it was a masterpiece, a miniature biosphere that exemplified equilibrium. It was more than a model, it was a microcosm of their journey from fragmented individuals to a cohesive unit. The presentation day arrived. The class gathered eagerly, their collective chatter filling the room. As Julie's group unveiled their project, a hush fell over the students and instructors alike. Holograms shimmered into existence, depicting lush greenery, cascading waterfalls, and predatory creatures moving with both grace and purpose. The ecosystem thrived and pulsated with life, a testament to cooperative innovation. Instructor Sable stepped forward, his expression a mix of pride and solemnity. "This," he intoned, "is what unity looks like, not the absence of differences but the harmonization of them. Each of you has contributed something invaluable to this endeavor." Julie felt a swell of emotion as she realized the significance of their work. It wasn't just a project, it was a symbol of their transformation, a vindication of her presence at the Nexus. As Sable continued to speak, words of recognition and encouragement echoed off the walls, embedding themselves in the hearts and minds of the students. Julie glanced around at her classmates, who wore expressions of mutual admiration and respect. The barriers she had initially faced seemed like distant memories. But the journey was far from over. While the project resolved one aspect of their collective challenge, the ever-evolving tapestry of interstellar relations demanded continued effort, understanding, and empathy. Julie understood this as she looked at her friends, no longer defined by their alienness but by their shared humanity, in the broadest sense of the word. The nexus of cultures had shifted from an academic institution to an embodiment of its name, a true nexus where different cultures didn't just coexist but flourished together. As the session came to an end, Julie felt a sense of completion but also a keen awareness of the ongoing voyage. Her brave act of sharing the stark realities of Earth had dismantled superficial perceptions and replaced them with deeper connections. The classroom was now a living, breathing entity of unity born from adversity. In a universe teeming with countless stars and endless possibilities, Julie's story was just one among many. Yet, it held a timeless lesson: the power of courage, understanding, and the beauty of unity in diversity. As she walked out of the classroom with her friends, the future seemed not just vast, but boundless in its opportunities for connection and growth. The final notes of the chapter left an indelible mark, much like the vivid constellations etched against the darkness of space. A reminder that from understanding and courage could emerge a harmony capable of bridging worlds. Stay tuned to discover how these lessons echo across the cosmos, shaping destinies and forging bonds that defy the stars. This saga of unity against the vast backdrop of the universe serves as an enduring promise that adversity, when faced bravely, can kindle the brightest sparks of connection. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.